Thank you for checking out my Circle.so review. I'm not big on introductions, so let's get right on into it. So Circle.so does come with the ability to try them for free, and if you would like to, you can click the link down below in the description or pinned comment. I actually created a brand new account when doing my tutorial video, so if you need help with that, that will be in another video. Just simply leave a comment down below. So I got to kind of do an unboxing and check out all the great features that it has to offer, and something right out of the bat is going to be its ease of use that I think that you really like. If you have a look right here under getting started, it's simply going to be a checklist of doing just about anything that you want right here. And it's as simple as, say, completing your profile, designing your community, setting up access, adding members, which you can import or send invites that way if you create an invite link. You can even import your email list if you want to do that. Aside from that, those are going to be the main options when it comes to getting up and running. Speaking of getting up and running, their interface is just so intuitive and clean. I love the look of it. I don't know if I'm old school, but I don't like anything that's super advanced. I've always been that way. And it's the same here when it comes to using Circle. And especially when it comes to creating spaces, this is, in my opinion, where it really shines because everything is so straightforward. Let's go with creating posts when it comes to creating a community. Let's click on next. All right, let's say this space is going to be the Marketing Island community. It's going to be open. You can change around the access as needed. Plus, it also allows for the ability to have new post notifications. Now, this can certainly be beneficial for you because imagine if every time there's a post, someone gets an email. However, you just do want to keep in mind that that could be too much, especially if you have a ton of action going on there. The good thing about it is that you can turn it off if needed, but the fact that it is there is very beneficial. Let's click on Create Space. And of course, there are no posts yet, but this is how you go about creating one. We can do new post right here. We can say welcome. This is going to be where you add your post and so on and so forth. And there's going to be plenty of other things you can do here. We have commands. We have a link to a post event lesson or space, attaching files, attaching videos, GIFs, images or media, emojis. We have polls, and we even have recording a voice message. So simply click on publish when done. And of course, this is going to be what it looks like. Once again, very clean and intuitive. Think of it like being a Facebook group without all of the annoying distractions on a Facebook group. That's pretty much the best way to describe it. And in my opinion, it looks a whole lot better. You can customize it to look a little bit better. So for example, if you want a banner image or a graphic like that, you can change around your avatars. And once you get going, you can even add the gamification process right here, which I'll show you. So there's a level of flexibility here that you can add in terms of the levels and the points that are going to be required. So as it shows right here, customize the name and points of each gamification level. So there are going to be specific levels to it. And obviously the points are going to be based upon the actions that your community members take. You can include admins on the leaderboard. You can include moderators on the leaderboard. And you can make member rewards visible to other members if needed, just to kind of show some incentive based upon what it is they're going to want to do. And so as it shows right here, your members will earn a point for every like they receive and move up levels as they accrue points. Top members will be featured in the leaderboard tab. So a nice little extra way to incentivize your community members to actually go in, talk, engage, like, and so on and so forth. A nice little feature added in. And when it comes to spaces, it just gets better and better in my opinion. So you'd click on the plus right here, create space. And there's also going to be events, chat, courses, members, and images. This one's going to be very popular, I think, in my opinion. This is a great way to say just have nonstop chat with whoever you want to be in there. Keep in mind, it could get a little hectic. I'm going to show you how it works. And once again, you can change this around. You have your space name, the access, who's going to be in there. We're going to turn off notifications on this one because there could be a lot of them. Let's click on create space. And just like that, you have a chat. So anyone who is in here can go and just message at live, which is going to be fantastic. So if that's something you also want to have in addition to your community, it's fantastic. Like I said before, kind of like an upgraded Facebook where you have none of the distractions that are going to be on Facebook. If you've ever been on there, you know there's a ton of them. The viral cat memes, the people at 3 a.m., Uncle Ted who's talking about conspiracy theories. You have people poaching your clients and your customers. You have your competitors' advertisements showing up. All that is no bueno, and once again, a big reason why I say something like Circle can be a whole lot better than Facebook. And continuing on with the spaces, because I know this is going to be also a very popular one, let's click on Create Space, and of course, you can create courses as well. And with these here, you have a few choices. So self-paced, a course starts when a member enrolls. All content is available immediately. You have structured, where a course starts when a member enrolls, but sections are dripped relative to their enrollment date. So if you want that drip feed type of schedule, you can definitely do that, where maybe it releases, say, every 7 days, every 30 days, whatever it is, up to you. The world is going to be your drip feed oyster, so to speak. Then you have scheduled, where a course starts on a specific date. Sections are dripped relative to that date. So this could work very well if you have a launch where you want it to start on that specific day. It's really up to you, but there's plenty of ways to structure your course, which is always a good thing, especially if you want to create courses in Circle.so. Let's click on next. And as you can see here, what's going to add up are going to be the specific spaces. So you can really do whatever you want right here, and everything's going to be on the side, easy for you to navigate. This is going to be the getting started section. So when you do begin, you can X out of that once you are done. Then you have your feed, very similar to a news feed. All of the popular aspects are going to show up right there. And of course, right here is going to be the course dashboard. If you can add sections and then add lessons inside of those sections, you're going to be good to go. It really is that simple. Let's click on edit lessons right here. And of course, we don't have anything yet. Let's do section. And let's say this is going to be the intro. Let's do this. And very similar to a chapter, you need the content inside it. So you can click on lesson or quiz. And this is going to be where that goes. We can do check. Then of course we can click on edit. This is going to be your featured media up at top, so you can drag your video audio file or embed from Vimeo, YouTube, Wistia, Typeform, or more. I would recommend uploading, especially if you have, say, a YouTube video, just because there's going to be ads playing during that, and you might not want to do that. And down below here is going to be business, as usual. This is where you can type in anything else that you need, and if you want to make your life so much easier, type the / for a plethora of commands that you can also utilize just to simply get anything else you want in down here. Now you might be asking, if you didn't see, well, what about if we have specific files? There's a section for that too. And just simply add your files right here, whether it be an ebook, any type of upload, a cheat sheet, a picture, an overview, a blueprint, a motivation guide, whatever it is, to simply add it right there. And a little bit more under general, obviously between draft and publish, so you can change around when it's going to go live. But you can also enable the featured media as showcased right here. You can enable comments, and of course the default tab is going to be either comments or curriculum. So all in all, when creating a course, very similar to creating a lot of the other spaces. It's clean, intuitive, pretty step by step, and you're not going to need like this really thick book in order to figure out how to use this platform, which is always a good thing. So simplistic, clean, overall pretty straightforward to use. Big thumbs up when it comes to those aspects. So with that in mind, allow me to wrap up my Circle.so review, and there's a few other things I do want to talk about. So in my opinion, it's one of those platforms that just feels good to use. The interface is clean, modern, and genuinely enjoyable, and while it's not as endlessly customizable as, say, a full-blown website builder, it gives you more than enough flexibility to create a beautifully polished home for your community. And speaking of communities, that's where Circle really shines. If bringing people together is the goal, Circle makes that entire process feel pretty much frictionless. Another thing I really appreciate is just how easy it is to create different types of spaces. Want a simple chat area? Done. Want to build out a full course with lessons, modules, and a place for members to interact? Also done. Circle makes it feel like you're snapping together pieces of a digital home, no tech headaches, no complicated setup, just simple, intuitive building blocks that work. Pricing wise, it's honestly fair for what you get too. Even on the professional plan, you've got plenty of bells and whistles and high quality features that make running your space easier. Plus, they also have the optional upgrade of being able to get the email hub, which can be a nice bonus if you want to centralize more of your workflow overall. Now, something I do want you to keep in mind though is that Circle does have its own transaction fees on top of Stripes. So you're going to be paying anywhere from 2% to 1% to 0.5% depending on your plan. It's definitely not a deal breaker, just something that you'll want to factor in if you're planning on collecting payments overall. And just to give you an idea about how this works, so with professional, it's 2%, business 1%, and these two are going to be 0.5%. So if you scroll down right here, it's going to give you an example of what it would be, say, if you're on the business plan right here. So total fees would be 1% from Circle, 2.9 Stripe payments, 30 cents from Stripe payments, and 0.5 from Stripe billing. So normally, a lot of times you're going through and you're just getting a lot of the Stripe stuff. So right here, in addition to, is going to be the 1% Circle. I bring this up because a lot of times it can be annoying when platforms also have their transaction fees, but they're so low that at this point, it's probably not even a big deal. However, it is something I wanted to bring up because it is a review overall. And at the end of the day, would it be better if that it was a big goose egg for zero? Absolutely. absolutely, but it's just not the way it is, and I want to inform you about that either way. Nevertheless, Circle.so has so many things going on for it that the transaction fees at the end of the day probably aren't going to be that big of a deal. So if this platform sounds like music to your ears, I would go ahead and recommend trying them free by clicking the link down below in the description and pinned comment. And that's all I've got for you today. Now go and build something awesome, and may your software always run smoother than your morning coffee. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy.